What do you do when the storm is too great? When the waves are rising higher than you can climb? When the winds howl loud enough to drown out your thoughts? When the very ground beneath you is no longer solid? What do you do when you are swallowed by the unknown? There is a monster in the deep, a force so vast that to look upon it is to feel the weight of your own insignificance. The Leviathan, the chaos beast, the symbol of everything beyond human control. Some say it is a dragon, a serpent of the seas, armored in impenetrable scales, its breath setting the ocean itself aflame. Some say it is destruction incarnate, its many heads thrashing through the waters, a reminder that no force of nature bows to the will of man. And yet, here you are, standing at the edge of the abyss, staring into the storm. And you have a choice to make. The Leviathan is not just a creature of the sea. It is everything that threatens to consume you. It is fear. It is doubt. It is the unpredictable nature of life itself. It is the moment when everything feels out of control, when the outcome is uncertain, when your strength feels insufficient, when the forces at play are so much greater than you. The Leviathan is chaos, and chaos cannot be reasoned with. But what if the answer is not to flee? In the book of Job, Leviathan is described not as an enemy to be slain, but as a creature of God's own making. It is a force so powerful that only the divine holds mastery over it. Can you pull in Leviathan with a fishhook? Can you tie down his tongue with a rope? The answer is no. No human effort can subdue it. No sword can pierce its scales. No strategy can outmaneuver it. And yet, it is not Leviathan that Job must fear. It is his own lack of trust, his own need for control, his own belief that he must understand everything before he can find peace. And isn't that exactly where so many of us stand? We believe that if we just work harder, if we plan more, if we predict every possible outcome, we can avoid disaster. We think that faith means never feeling fear, that if we were strong enough, if we were truly in control, the storm would obey us. But faith is not about control. Faith is what allows you to stand at the edge of the unknown and take a step forward anyway. Faith is knowing that the storm is stronger than you, but believing that you do not stand alone. Peter understood this for a moment. He saw Jesus walking on the water, not swimming, not sinking, but standing atop the very chaos that should have swallowed him whole. And for a moment, Peter had the faith to step out, to believe that he too could move forward even when the ground beneath him was uncertain. And he did. For a moment, Peter walked on water. But then the waves rose, the wind howled, and the fear set in. Peter reached for control. He looked at the chaos instead of the one who called him forward. He let fear dictate his steps. And the moment he tried to fight the storm on his own, he began to sink. How often do we do the same? How often do we think that faith means having no fear, when in reality, faith is simply choosing to step forward despite it? How often do we believe that if we cannot control the storm, we must be failing? But faith is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the willingness to move forward anyway. It is the act of surrender, not to the chaos, but to something greater. To trust that even in the storm, you are not alone. That even when the Leviathan rises from the deep, its power does not exceed the one who commands the seas. So where does that leave you? Standing at the edge, staring into the unknown. The chaos is there. The uncertainty is real. The Leviathan is waiting. You could fight. You could struggle against it with every ounce of strength you have. You could battle the storm with everything in you, only to find that no human effort, no amount of control, no sheer force of will can master the chaos of the world. Or you could run. You could turn your back on the deep, step away from the call, retreat to the safety of the boat. You could refuse to step forward at all. Or you could do something different. You could step into the storm, not with control, not with fear, but with faith. Not faith in yourself, not faith in your own ability to master the waves, but faith that you do not walk alone. So many people misunderstand faith. They think it means certainty, that if they had enough of it, they would never doubt, never fear, never struggle. But faith was never meant to erase uncertainty. Faith is stepping forward despite uncertainty. It is choosing trust over control. It is choosing surrender over struggle. You are not asked to tame the Leviathan. You are not asked to silence the storm. You are not asked to command the waves. You are simply asked to step forward. And when you do, when you choose faith over fear, when you choose to move forward even when the path is unclear, when you refuse to be ruled by the chaos that surrounds you, something incredible happens. The Leviathan does not disappear. The waves do not stop. The wind does not cease. But you no longer sink beneath them. You walk on the water, And when the fear creeps back in, when the uncertainty rises, when the chaos seems too great, you remember this. The power was never in your ability to fight the storm. The power was never in your ability to control the chaos. The power was always in your willingness to trust. So step forward, let go, and know that the waters will hold you.